What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode and edition of the Wrestling Hour, right here first and foremost on adfreeshows.com. Your host right now, Dave Sturchio, rolling solo because some people are out in Las Vegas right now. Josh Shernoff will be joining us in just a little bit, but I hope everybody's doing well out there. I hope everybody's ready for Wrestlemania night 1 and 2 going down on Easter weekend. So if you have any Easter plans, tell the bunny to, move to the side and let's talk some wrestling, right? So, look, it's pretty simple. This episode in itself will be a little bit of a preview prediction show for WrestleMania night 1 and 2 in Vegas. Really excited about specific matches, and I'm kind of like, miss me on these kind of matches. I think the build overall for WrestleMania this year has been a little different. Feels a little rushed and forced. I'm not sure if it's the overhype of Vegas. And I said this to a couple of colleagues of mine, and I said, when you look at Las Vegas, it's a town and a city that doesn't sleep, and it's always on the go, right? There's always something to do in Las Vegas, whether it's a show or a UFC event or a sporting event or whatever. Las Vegas every night of the week is always popping off. Now, when you add a WrestleMania, sure, are you going to get the people from across the country, other countries? Yeah, you'll add all that, and that'll be very good for WWE. But the appeal to go to Las Vegas in a place where it's already kind of happening without WWE, I think that's going to make it fall a little short on the hype. Because if you bring it to a Tampa Bay or Orlando or LA and Hollywood or Texas, right? There's things that go down there, but normally on the weekends and normally on like the certain select dates. But when you look at WrestleMania, this is a Saturday, Sunday deal, which again, could this have been shrunk to one night this year? I think so. I think there's a couple matches that I'm just like, okay, that could have been saved for the Monday after or the Friday before or anything like that. But in this specific year, the buzz, I feel like, is a little down. I think me and Josh are actually a little bit more excited about the GCW Collective and everything that's going down in Las Vegas prior to. We covered a lot of that on Triller TV Talk this week, which you can go check it out if you want to download the Triller TV app or check them out on YouTube. That 4-part pilot is almost up, so we'll talk about all that is GCW Collective next week on that show, and we'll recap WrestleMania right here on the season finale of the Wrestling Hour. That's right. We're going to go away for a little while, but when we come back, it'll be bigger and better and all that good stuff as we shift our focus into me promoting the Fight Factory shows and Josh getting, full steam ahead with MyFandom App and Pro Wrestling Connect and everything that we're involved with. So we got our hands in a lot of things, and we got to make sure we allocate our time correctly. So for those of you who watch on the weekly through ad-free shows, thank you guys. And of course, for those of you who watch on the MyFandom YouTube channel, you guys are the best as well. So before we get into WrestleMania, I want to throw it to my main man, Josh Shernoff, who is on location right now, probably from his hotel room in Las Vegas. Josh, how you doing? I hope everybody's, I hope you're doing well out there. I know you texted me real late. I know you decided not to stop into the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop, even though I asked you to nicely, and you did not do that. But yeah, so Josh, take it away, brother.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, we are here. Beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada right now, and I got a little handheld device that I'm using to broadcast this to you. But man, look at this. Look at this incredible view that we've got out here, up here in the penthouse. But let's talk why I'm here. I am here for Mania Week. I am here for GCW's Collective, and that all starts tonight. If you're watching this on ad-free shows, it's going to be available on Triller TV. It's the ID Championship Tournament, so I'm excited about that. We have all the WWE ID prospects here in the first round of the tournament. Tomorrow, I will be at the Pearl Theater as well for Bloodsport. Man, I am so psyched for that. We got Karrion Kross here. Natty Neidhart's going to be here. Pete Dunne's going to be here. Shayna Baszler and more. And that's just the WWE people are going to be here. How about your Josh Barnett's? How about your... I mean, listen. The list is so long that I'm going to need to memorize it before we go and do this show. But we, of course, have Joey Janela's Spring Break coming up. And then, obviously, what's everybody here for at the end of this beautiful week? It's WrestleMania, baby. And I'm listening to your breakdown. I'm curious to hear the rest of it, Dave. But to me, I am just going to throw this out here: a match that I am super psyched for. Really is the Jey Uso Gunther match, and I wasn't until 2 weeks ago watching that promo with Jey Uso. I'm excited, and now Gunther turning it up as well. But another one, close personal, longtime friend of mine, Drew McIntyre, my buddy, is going to mop the floor with Damian Priest. I'm excited about that one as well. And then, of course, John Cena. Is he going to be 17-time champion against Cody Rhodes? I'm going to give you my prediction right now. Yes, I believe he will be. So much incredible action going on. Paul Heyman, I saw him earlier on TV, obviously, watching. Have not seen him here. He and I don't run in exactly the same circles, but who's he going to walk out of Mania with? That's a good question as well. But hey, do us a favor, tune into Triller TV and let them know that Josh and Dave sent you. That's helpful for us. But yeah, man, I'm here in Vegas, missing you, Dave. Not with that hideous Cowboys shirt and that awful that hat you're wearing as well. And no, I did not go into the Cowboys store. My layover in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. I will say it was actually a really nice airport. But no, I did not walk in there out of fear of bursting into flames. But yeah, I enjoyed my 1 hour and 15 minutes in the airport, and enjoyed not getting you another piece of terrible merchandise. But with that, I got to go get ready. I got to head down to GCW right now. And again, if you're watching this tomorrow on the MyFandom app, actually, man, screech the record right there. Let's stop things. Go right now. There's a brand new MyFandom app, and we're gonna let you guys know we're not really gonna be pushing it until Squared Circle Expo in another week. But listen, if you are here in Vegas, go to the MyFandom app right now. Check into the events when you go to the events. That's right. It's a brand new feature. MyFandom, completely redone, available for iOS and Android. Completely redone and ready, somehow got ready in time for Mania Week. Go check into the events. I'm talking GCW, I'm talking WWE, NXT. Check into these events, mark that you're there, earn an achievement, a badge, a specific badge that, guess what, you can only get if you check in on MyFandom. That's the only way you're gonna be able to get this. So go right now, make sure that you have the MyFandom app downloaded, the latest version of it. We are back, baby, All Pro Wrestling, and we're gonna change the game. That's what we're gonna do. So check in, mark out, and enjoy MyFandom. Dave, back to you, my friend.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh Shernoff, on location, my partner in crime when it comes to all things professional wrestling. Can't thank Josh enough for everything that he's done for this show, what he's done to hook me up with Triller and everything. Very excited and pumped for him to be out there for the GCW Collective, Bloodsport, Stardom, Joey Janela's Spring Break, everything. Everything that goes within GCW's Collective is going to be insane, and I cannot wait to see the footage on Triller TV. But now let's get to the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 41, Las Vegas, Nevada, 2 nights, a bunch of matches. There's rumors of 18 hours of coverage. If you're sitting there for 18 hours out of a 48-hour span watching professional wrestling, my God, you're the GOAT. You're the GOAT fan. I know I can't do it. I got things to do, people to see, places to go, but I will be tuned in, locked in for WrestleMania on Saturday night and Sunday night. Very excited about that. So let's start with some previews and some predictions, right? We got Saturday night starting off. We'll start off with Jade Cargill and Naomi. Now, this match in particular, I'm quite excited about it because they did build this pretty good. For a storyline that was pretty much dragged out for quite some time, Jade Cargill gets attacked. Turns out to be jealous Naomi. Bianca completely thrown out of this picture because of her WWE Women's Championship match coming up at WrestleMania. So that's kind of weird how they just kind of shifted her out of focus. But now you have Naomi and you have Jade. Jade Cargill is a star. She is molded to be a professional wrestler. She looks the part. She talks the part. The in-ring work will get better as we go. She's still brand new to this. I don't know if anybody realizes this, but she's only a few years in. And I think that it will get better. And working with a partner like Naomi, if I say partner, your opponent, I think they have a chance to put together a very good match. Give me Jade Cargill to seek revenge in this one. Give me her to win this one outright. No interference, no bullshit. Just give me Jade Cargill to beat Naomi at WrestleMania. Now we move on to a very funny match that they built for about 2 weeks. And this is Rey Mysterio Jr. taking on El Grande Americano, a.k.a. not Gable. So I know there's people out there that think they're the same person. You guys are all idiots. I can't believe you actually think that Chad Gable and Grande Americano are the same person. You guys are out of your minds at this point. Like, you need to be tested, right? You need to be put in a home if you think that this is the deal, right? So look, I think personally, this has huge match potential. It really does, because I've been a Chad Gable fan, El Grande Americano fan, for a very long time. I've been banging on the table for this guy to get a push, to get a big moment. This could be the moment. He, remember, he went on this sabbatical to find out how to defeat the luchas of the WWE. There's no bigger and better lucha in the history of professional wrestling, I think, than Rey Mysterio Jr. Does he win? Does he get this win over Chad Gable? Don't know, right? Like, you're looking at this on the surface and you're like, okay, they're going to put on a great match. I think they will, because Gable, I think, can go and sell, and he's just a very, 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 very good athlete. Rey Mysterio, this might be one of his last WrestleMania, so he wants to go out with a bang. I think he gets unmasked and still wins. I think Chad Gable will get his WrestleMania moment with no mask on, doing his normal shtick on the way out. Some kind of moment in the match where he tries to load the thing. Remember, he's been loading his mask with a steel plate, which, by the way, that would hurt him too, right? I don't understand how that works. But I think that match is going to be great. I think Chad Gable will steal this one. And I think the mask will come off and everybody will realize, oh, it's Chad Gable after all. So give me Chad Gable in that one. This next one, again, not a lot of build, or at least not to my knowledge of, getting juiced up for it, but he's one of my favorites going right now. Jacob Fatu challenges LA Knight for the United States Championship. I think personally, this one's going to be maybe one of the better matches of night one. Jacob Fatu is a superstar. We all know this already. Josh and I know him personally. We know the journey that came up on the come up and just everything he's been through. I think that this guy is ready to go. Do you put the championship on him right now? Does he need it? Probably not. This is the same situation as, if I'm thinking off the top of my head of guys who don't really need the championship belt to make who they are. Guys like Ziggler, guys like, guys that can work no matter what the situation. Chad Gable, right? You don't need to put the championship on him to make him who he is. Everybody knows and fears Jacob Fatu. Now, LA Knight, a little bit of a stalemate, I want to say. Again, big fan of his work, big fan of his promos, big fan of his in-ring work. I think he's phenomenal at what he does. Are the WWE ready to pull the trigger on a guy like Jacob Fatu to win the United States Championship on night one of WrestleMania? Does this make him? I don't know. I look at the United States Championship. If they're trying to make this the Intercontinental Championship of SmackDown, the workers title, the guy, the mid-card guy that's, will work every night. Yeah, we know Jacob Fatu is going to do that. That's in his arsenal regardless. So I don't know if he needs the championship to win this one, but I can't see him losing unless there's some kind of big time dissension within the bloodline with Solo Sikoa being involved and costing Jacob Fatu the United States Championship. I'm going to give this match to LA Knight and to retain only for that sole purpose. If it's a clean win, then I think Jacob Fatu takes it. But I think Jacob Fatu gets screwed over here and people gravitate to him. His merch sales become huge again. People start to like him a lot more than they hate Solo. And there you have a little bit of a power struggle within the bloodline again, which is kind of fizzled out a little bit, but everybody's going to be able to go back to it, which is great. You know, if all else fails, go back to the bloodline stuff because we all like it. It's all captivating television. But give me LA Knight in this one. The World Tag Team Championship on the line. The War Raiders taking on the New Day. Now, again, one of those things that the build doesn't really add up. The War Raiders have been doing this for a long time. I've called their matches on the independents. That's how long the War Raiders have been at this. And now that they're the tag team champions, they are, you know, the targets on the back per se. You know, when I look at the New Day, they need this. They need this for their heel push. Or do we get some kind of, you know, they're on the cusp of winning and maybe we get a little Big E action at WrestleMania. Big E gets a WrestleMania moment. I know we haven't really talked about that. Nobody's really talked about that. It's all been about the New Day and, you know, what they've been doing and what they've been able to do. But maybe, just maybe, that's one of those things that nobody really talked about, flew under the radar. Oh, by the way, here comes Big E to cost you guys the tag team titles. And I think that could be a thing. If it, like I said before on the LA Knight match, if this is a clean win or a dirty win, I would give it to the New Day to win the tag team championship. But if you want to build a storyline towards Backlash, towards the summer, and you want Big E to be back in the picture or something to that effect, and again, I don't have any sources right now inside saying like, yep, Big E's ready to go. He's been lifting weights. He's been taking bumps. You know, like, I don't know. I have no idea. If he's doing it very incognito, which is great. But yeah, if there's no title change, it'll just be it'll be a Big E thing or an interference thing or something to that variation. That's what I think. I don't know if it's, you know, again, not a lot of build to this one. It's more the story of the New Day and their heel run on how good they could possibly make this. The WWE Women's Championship between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. Now, look, I'm not sure if we covered it last week. Maybe we didn't. I know I probably did on the Fight Factory Wrestling podcast. But that stuff off script was, you know, to me as a wrestling fan, as somebody in the back, like if it was approved by Charlotte, it's chef's kiss, beautiful, but it wasn't. You know, it doesn't seem like it was. I think that this was a little bit of a low blow. Tiffany Stratton took that chance, made it a viral moment. The fans get behind her. The fans really, really don't like Charlotte. And I don't think a lot of the people within the industry don't necessarily appreciate the way Charlotte carries herself. I don't know her, so I can't tell you that. I've never met her. I've talked to Rick a couple times, but not Charlotte. And I want to say that in this one, if they give it to Charlotte, this place will riot. You can make Tiffany Stratton a superstar if you have her beat Charlotte in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania. This could put Tiffany Stratton on a whole different planet when it comes to women's wrestling in the WWE. I don't think they're going to give it to Charlotte. I'm well aware she won the Rumble, and I've had conversations with colleagues where I'm like, man, how many times do the Rumble winners lose at WrestleMania? And we saw Cody do it a couple years ago, but before that, you got to think back, like how many people won the Rumble, got the championship opportunity, and then floundered it, right? For me, I think this one has to go to Tiffany Stratton because, you know, you need to build her more. Charlotte will be Charlotte regardless, right? Tiffany Stratton needs that big, big win, and I think she will get it at WrestleMania Night 1. The World Heavyweight Championship match. Now, Gunther, Jey Uso. This one's taking a turn for the better as it went, because there's a lot of people out there that said like there's no build to this. Jey isn't the guy. You know, he's being forced into this situation. Jey wins the Rumble. I think there's a bigger plan in place for Jey Uso. I really do. We've talked about it on the Fight Factory Wrestling podcast. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. About 2 weeks ago, we made some bold predictions that is starting to circle around the internet. So it's not like, you know, 140,000 views on Instagram. So people are seeing our theory and either agreeing with it, saying it's going to be incredible, or like squashing it completely. It can't never happen. The only thing we started to suggest is that Jey Uso will go to the greatest of lengths to win this match over Gunther. Remember, Gunther is 3-0 singles competition over Jey Uso. Is he going to really go 4-0 over Jey Uso clean? I say probably not. Jey Uso won the Rumble. Jey Uso's also aligned himself at certain times with guys like Travis Scott. Who else is Travis Scott with, right? Travis Scott has aligned himself with The Rock, final boss, who has promised so many big things to mold his champions. Is Jey Uso the next champion for The Rock? Is The Rock trying to monopolize the WWE by putting two champions within his control? One being Cena, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and one being Jey Uso. I know it sounds like a weird mix, but is it? Is it that far-fetched to know that one of the high chiefs of the bloodline, the final boss, is involved in this one in some way, shape, or form? There's been certain degrees of cheers for Gunther at times, right? Because he's a throwback. People like this guy. People appreciate what he's able to do in wrestling. I just know that Jey Uso said he will do whatever it takes. In these last couple promos, no yeet shirts, no big yeet. I mean, yeah, he yeeted the hell out of the Monday Night Raw, but before that, last week, he came out very bold, very like, I'm not going to, have fun right now. I have to send a message right now to Gunther. Did that 2 weeks in a row. And Gunther had a look on his face a couple weeks ago where like, shit, what did I wake up? Who did I wake up here? I don't know. I don't know if I can handle this right now. But then last week, kind of doubled down saying he's not afraid. He's ready to go, blah, blah, blah. The match got some build, and I'm glad because it was very damning for a little while where I was just like, okay, it's underdog versus the David versus Goliath feel, right? And we've seen that a million times over. This one feels a little different. Who walks out of here? I already said Charlotte Flair, Royal Rumble winner, lost. Can two Royal Rumble winners lose their championship matches? Are we going to get two championship turns? It's very possible. Remember, this is like the season finale of WWE and then a restart on Monday. Can you start it with the face of the franchise being Jey Uso? No. I don't know. I can't pull the trigger on Jey Uso right now. I just can't. There's no way. What do you do with Gunther? Does he go away for a little vacation? I don't know. He's done a lot of press this week or last week, right, in New York. I just don't see the title change happening. If it does, it will be because of a catastrophic switch in the tide and switch in the control for Jey Uso to line himself with somebody bigger. If he doesn't, then I see it coming very, very, very close and then ultimately falling short. Possible that two Rumble winners do not win their respective championships that they challenge for. Now, the triple threat main event of night one, everybody's looking forward to this one. I myself think this one's going to steal the weekend. Personally, it's CM Punk, it's Roman Reigns, and it's Seth Rollins. Now, a lot of drama has unfolded in the last couple weeks, right? You've gotten Paul Heyman in the middle of his best friend and his tribal chief. And last week, we saw a little bit of the biggest friction we've seen between the tribal chief and his advocate and Paul Heyman, with a little bit of a mush face, right? And then a big old fight breaks out. Who's the last man standing? Seth Rollins looking at Paul Heyman again. 2 weeks in a row now where Paul Heyman's been spared by Seth Rollins. Now, is everybody trying to paint that picture like, oh, well, maybe all signs point to Rollins and Heyman walking out together at the end of the night with a win, right? Because who does a win do more for right now? CM Punk is on this meteoric rise since coming back, right? There's no denying that Punk is the most popular wrestler in the WWE. I would say 1A with Roman Reigns. I really would. Cody Rhodes still, to an extent, but really like a cannon was shot and CM Punk was the ball, right? Like, so he is on a trajectory. It would probably do the most for CM Punk to not only main event his first WrestleMania, but to get the win, right? Roman Reigns is now facing some adversity because he doesn't have his tribal chief, right? He doesn't have the guy. Excuse me as I take a sip of coffee. It's not normal where usually Shernoff can fill this time and I can take my sip, but can't do that today. Normally, there's just not much adversity facing Roman Reigns, but now he doesn't have his wise man. The wise man is in the corner of CM Punk. I think that does play a significant role. You could make him the ultimate heel again if you have CM Punk get turned on by his best friend, Paul Heyman, for Roman to get the win, right? But then you look at Seth Rollins, and this is the guy I think that needs the most. Because for me, and this is just a personal thing, Seth Rollins has never done it for me, right? He's never really been the guy for me that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what he says. In the ring, shit. I don't think anybody can trust him. Like, he's one of the best in the world in the ring. I just don't think that his promos are anything that I'm like, must see television. It's a lot of whiny, just complaining a lot. Reminds me of a Bret Hart. That'll strike a chord with Josh. But that's what it reminds me of. And it doesn't do it for me per se. But again, the person that needs it the most would probably be CM Punk to continue his rise. I don't think we live in a situation where Seth Rollins will come out the winner unless there's a massive double turn or Heyman aligns himself with him. Roman, I think, can afford to lose again. That kind of sets him into a tailspin where this is 2 WrestleManias now back to back that he's lost and has been left looking at the lights and has to have that long walk back up the ramp. That would invigorate me as a Roman Reigns guy to say, like, he's coming for blood now and it's going to be great. The re-rise of the tribal chief, the OTC, will be better second time around. So that's just me. So give me CM Punk to win this match somehow. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's going to be a thing. But all right, night 2, AJ Styles taking on Logan Paul. Another one that was kind of built about 3 weeks ago overseas. I dig the match. I think it's going to probably be one of the best. If they really want to go nuts, they can open the show this way, because AJ Styles is one of those guys that will put on a performance of a lifetime, time and time again. Doesn't really look like he's lost a step. He looks the best he's ever looked. And then you have Logan Paul, who is still on the come up when it comes to professional wrestling, but has picked this thing up very, very quick. And I don't know if anybody's ever picked it up quicker than him. Being trained by guys like Shawn Michaels at the Performance Center, plus his own God-given natural athletic ability, I feel like you have a absolute star in the making, a heel in the making, with Logan Paul. I think you got to give this one to Logan Paul because you have to continue to build that guy. AJ Styles has his name built. He's on the Mount Rushmore of TNA. He's on, he's got his career intact. He's going to do some cool things, I'm sure, down the line. Or maybe he calls it quits, towards the end of the year or something like that. But right now, I would give this one to Logan Paul for the sole purpose of I think he needs it more as a character. Moving on, it is the Sin City street fight between Josh's dear good friend Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Now, this to me is a shame. And this is not, I'm not trying to downplay this match. It's just a shame that the stipulations for both of these guys isn't higher. Drew McIntyre is one of the better heels in WWE. The fact that he's got a street fight lined up against Damian Priest, another guy that was on a really big rise. And oh, by the way, WrestleMania 40, just a year ago, these guys were involved in one of the biggest, craziest finishes of all time. And I feel like this is a slip from the ranks. I don't know if people agree with me on this one, but it just feels like a slip of their ranking. Street fight, yeah. So that means anything can go, any interference can happen, any kind of returns can happen, and all this it gets all thrown out the window because nobody really knows what to do with this. I think you have to give this to Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest has a long way to go as far as trying to be a main eventer again. I think Drew McIntyre is the guy, and he should be the guy. His promo work is brilliant. His in-ring work is even better than that. And I think he gets the win here, and he continues his rise in WWE. Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way. This one is going to be very good. But again, I feel like this one was thrown together a little bit. Braun Breaker, the champion, taking on Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Finn Balor. Now, that's another guy I think that doesn't necessarily need the championship. I think everybody's going to be barking for Braun Breaker no matter what he's doing in the WWE. That's why I think there may be a title shift here in this match. Do I see Dom Mysterio? No. Do I see anything for guys like Penta? He's got time to build. I don't think he needs this. I think this one goes to Finn Balor. I do. I think that just if you watch the match this past Monday night on Raw, Finn Balor put on a clinic. He always puts on a clinic. Did you also notice a little something? I might be digging too deep into this, and maybe this is my wrestling brain. He threw this up a lot of times, right? Over this and doing the Bullet Club thing. There's something to it. I think there's dissension between the Judgment Day. Maybe we see a Judgment Day versus the Bullet Club. One led by one led by another, right? And I truly think this is Finn's time to shine. This will be the one that you're like, oh, wow, did not expect that, right? You fully expect Penta, who's been on a roller coaster of trajectory going up, to think this is it for him. He's going to get the pinnacle of WrestleMania. I think it's too fast. I think it's too fast for Penta, and Dom Mysterio doesn't paint the picture of an Intercontinental Champion. Now, what you do with Braun Breaker if he loses is that you insert him into the world title mix right away, right? Because again, he doesn't need a championship, but if he has something, another appetite to go after something bigger, Braun Breaker could be the future face of the WWE. You heard it from me. You probably heard it from a lot of people first, right? Braun Breaker is that dude. He is a next generation superstar, and I don't think he needs the Intercontinental Championship to prove that. That's why I think he doesn't even take the fall here. The interesting fall would be if Finn Balor pinned Dominic Mysterio. That could be a thing. So give me Finn Balor. I kind of really like that idea. And then I've said it out loud a couple of times. So now we have the Women's Tag Team Championship, where, of course, Judgment Day members Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I want to say this will be the match that I just grab my drink and sip on my drink and maybe go to the bathroom. And it's no disrespect to them. It really isn't, because I think they're all great. I just don't see the build. They threw Bayley and Lyra together like a week and a half ago, so this is a forced match. Should be on the pre-show, or should be on SmackDown this Friday or Raw on Monday. I don't know about this being a WrestleMania moment. They'll probably put together a good match. Bayley, can't miss on Bayley. I think Liv Morgan is great. Not a fan of Raquel Rodriguez. Lyra Valkyria is very, very good. They're going to put together a nice match. Let's not make any mistake about it. I'm not downplaying their abilities, not at all. I just don't have any interest in this one going in, because they didn't make me interested. They waited till like last week's SmackDown to determine that Lyra and Bayley were going to be in this thing, right? I hate when they do that. WWE has a track record of doing that. Like when they throw these things together last minute, they're like, oh yeah, and by the way, you're going to face this one at WrestleMania, and it's like the fucking Friday before. It's like, oh, all right, you're making it just another card to me, right? You got to make these things special, and I know it's hard to build like 18 freaking matches, but you got to do it. Give me Morgan and Raquel to retain, just because I can't see Lyra being a champ right now. Women's World Championship triple threat. Io Sky, the champ, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. I think the doormat of this one has been has been Io Sky. I think she's been worked over. She got her shine I think last week. She got a little bit of something, but the real thing right here, the thing that people are going to be interested in watching, is Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Now, Rhea has inserted herself into this one. Didn't really have to qualify or earn it. You got Bianca being a little hesitant about the whole, can't believe you let her in like this easily, right? I think that it's going to be a great match. Io Sky is a fantastic performer. If you had a gun to my head, I say let's give it back to Rhea and let her roll with it, right? Because I think Rhea, there's nobody that's better than her right now on the roster. There's nobody. Women's roster, women's wrestling, and you know what? Hard pressed to say she's not top 5 overall, right? Rhea Ripley is that wrestler, okay? And she is on a next level type shit. She has been that way for a while, and now she has a chance to solidify herself as the girl in WWE, and I think that she's going to do that. And then, of course, we have John Cena challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. And listen, this thing started off hot. I think there's going to be one more performance out of John Cena on Friday Night SmackDown. One more last, hoorah before it. I don't know if they put their hands on each other. I don't know if John Cena tries to bury him on the mic. I don't know. But what these guys have built, what the fans have built, there's been fan videos that I've seen on like TikTok and Instagram Reels and all this stuff, or whatever you call them, that are just next level shit. I'm like, damn, that's good, right? As far as the match itself, how much does John Cena have? You know, how much does John Cena how much does he have to give in a situation like this? This is his last run. He's turned heel, sold his soul to The Rock. Is The Rock involved in this one? If The Rock gets involved on night 1 with Jey Uso, maybe he doesn't on night 2. Maybe they just let these guys have a match. I find it hard pressed to think this one's going to be a clean fought match. I don't see that. I see John Cena pulling out all the stops. Maybe The Rock does get involved. Can Cena win his 17th championship? Bring back the spinner belt tomorrow, the next night on Raw. Get booed out of the building, and then who knows what? Right? I'm pulling for it. I am. I'm pulling for John Cena to win this thing just because I can't wait to see where they would go if Cena were a champion again in his final run. Is Cena going to chase the championship? Because once you lose the championship match at WrestleMania, what are you going to challenge for the title again at some point this year? I don't think so, right? I think you have to win the title here, and then you have Backlash, maybe a tag match at Backlash, maybe you get something special across the pond throughout the course. Then you get SummerSlam, maybe a main event at SummerSlam for the title, and then you can lose the championship, and then you can get the fans back on your side, and then you can kind of finish out the rest of the year as a babyface. But I think you got to win this, John. I think you got to win this, and I think you got to win this by any means necessary. So whatever that means, get it done. Now, one thing we didn't bring up is Randy Orton's mystery opponent. Now, remember, he's going to be advertised to be there, supposed to take on KO. KO has a neck injury. Part of me was like, man, wouldn't it be great if KO didn't have a neck injury, right? And this is all just a ruse, and just like, oh, there he is, boom, stunner, and now we have a match between the two. But unfortunately, I think it's all legitimate for Kevin Owens, and I hope he gets back very, very fast. He's one of my favorites on the roster. I'm not downplaying that. I'm not just saying that. Kevin Owens, to me, because it reminds me of me, right? Like, he's a bigger dude. He's luxurious beard, just talks shit, right? He's me. He's me. So I love Kevin Owens, and I hope he does get back in the ring sooner rather than later. You never want to see somebody leave not on their terms. So we'll see how that plays out. But Randy Orton needs an opponent. Now, there's been rumors about, will it be a return of somebody? Will it be a debut of somebody? Will it be Nick Aldis, right? Like, that could be a thing. That would be an awesome thing to me, right? But then that would make Nick Aldis the baby face, and nobody would want Randy Orton to win. So I think that there's going to be either a return or a debut. The only debuts I can think of would probably be the reemergence of Rusev, or potentially Malachi Black from AEW. Both guys no longer with AEW anymore. They're free agents, sign this, free to sign wherever. I know Rusev actually agreed to a deal. So you could do that, or I can't see a return really, like a return that nobody's really talked about. I don't know. I think it's going to be a re-debut of somebody, or Nick Aldis. Either way, Randy Orton will be in action at WrestleMania, and that's the best part about it, because Randy Orton is a staple in the WWE. Now, look, I'm not going to go an hour long. I know this is the Wrestling Hour, but this is the second to last episode of the season 2 of the Wrestling Hour. WrestleMania is a national holiday. Now it's a holiday weekend for wrestling fans. The week leading up has now become a thing. WrestleMania week, Mania week over on Triller TV. There's a lot of cool things happening within the world of professional wrestling. Now's the time to really get your shit together. If you're in the industry, it's time for you to like really question your character, your presence, your social media marketing of yourself. Get all that shit right, because now is the time. I mean, within the WWE ID system, Evolve, LFG, NXT, right? There's so many roads to get to the WWE. And then, oh, by the way, if you're just a indie darling and you're on fire, there's a chance Tony Khan might blow your phone up. I don't know. But now's the time. Now is the time to get yourself in the best shape of your life. It's a new season, a new restart, a new refresher. We will wrap all this up with a nice, pretty bow next week on the Wrestling Full Hour with myself and Josh Shernoff to recap all that was WrestleMania weekend. I hope you guys enjoy WrestleMania. Enjoy the weekend. Please be safe out there if you decide to venture out and watch this. If you're out in Vegas, don't do anything I wouldn't do, which is can't even list those. That's a lot. That's a long list. But listen, enjoy it. God bless. And I'll see you guys next week right here on the Wrestling Hour.